Hello and welcome to a special update episode of C++ Weekly. I'm your host, Jason Turner. I am doing a special channel update episode, which I've never done before, I don't believe, in all of the years that I've been YouTubing. So there's just some things that I need to talk about. There's been several updates lately and things that I'm looking forward to and things that I'd like to share with you all. So, maybe first of all, I should note that if you saw this particular episode with the bright green screen, which also had, I think, low volume levels in it, this is because the software that I have been using for editing, which I won't bother calling out here, they just released a major update, and it was a subscription system that I was on. And in this major update, they completely broke my ability to actually have my important patron scrolling names here. So, at the beginning of every episode, I've got the list of patron names that are scrolling past to of all of my supporters who are at tiers where they get acknowledgments at the start of videos. And while we can't just have that, because it took something like 2 hours to render the first 20 seconds of video after they did that update. Well, that started a cascade of things. And I moved since then to using Davinci Resolve. If you saw this episode here of how to fix the Davinci Resolve issue, that's because, yes, this is the system that I've moved to now is Davinci Resolve. And I had some growing pains. And at the moment, this is a free version of Davinci Resolve that I'm using, so that's actually saving me some money. I might upgrade to their more professional version a little bit later, but it is actually a really excellent editing suite. So yeah, sorry about the recent growing pains, but I think I've worked out everything in my workflow, and that also means now that I'm actually able to edit videos much faster than I was able to previously, because this kicked off a whole thing. And again, huge thanks to my patrons, which really made this possible, because otherwise I would not invest this much money in my system here. But I did an upgrade to the system that I use for editing, and I've got better, faster drives. And so if you were paying attention in previous episodes, you may have noticed that I do have this official cppweekly project here. And this is a place for me to put some of the bigger code samples and bigger things that I'm working on for the sake of this channel. Now, if you pay attention to this particular repository, you might get sneak peeks at things coming up, or you might not. Some of it could be just random red herrings. No way to tell, really. So that's something that you can look at if you want to, and it might be a way to go back and look at some of these bigger examples. But I'm also trying to be better in my YouTube video descriptions of putting links to Compiler Explorer where that makes sense. So on the note of GitHub and of Patreon, and again, thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, I do now have the ability to support me on GitHub sponsors. I can't show you that at the moment. I'm logged in as me, but you can choose to sponsor me here. And on all of the projects that I'm working on, there's this Lefticus Jason Turner button here to be able to support me on GitHub if you're interested, or on Patreon to help continue to support this channel. Also, if you happen to miss it, I did recently finish my C++ Best Practices book. Now, this is an intentionally short book. I've learned that if I write a lot of words, people don't necessarily read them. So I made a short book that's supposed to be 45 simple things that you can apply in your code. I say 45-ish because it's actually a little bit more than 45, but some of the things aren't things that you can directly apply to your C++ code. But it's my C++ Best Practices book, and if you're interested in that kind of thing and honing your skills, then be sure to check out this book. This is on LeanPub, and I'll have a link to that in the description. I've put a link to that in all of my YouTube videos now in the description. This is also a great way to support the channel if you're not interested in doing some sort of monthly thing, but you have been interested in general in supporting the channel. Now, getting back to the channel, this is currently hosted under my own account. This is the Jason Turner YouTube channel. I am planning to move this to a brand channel. Now, you should not see any difference when I do this, but it'll help me in how I manage the channel. You might see some URLs change, and the links to my specific channel will probably change at some point, but it should all be good. It should be automatically forwarded and everything automatically moved by YouTube. If for some reason, when I make this change after this video airs, you are no longer subscribed, make sure that you are in fact subscribed if you want to be. And, on the note of being subscribed, I'm already, I'm not subscribed to myself here. But if I were subscribed, actually I can do that with what I've got, then I can hit this bell here, and hitting the bell just means that you will always be notified when I post a new video. And that's something that YouTubers are asking people to do because it helps keep up the viewing of the videos. But, do that if you want to. If you want to make sure you don't miss a video, hit that bell. And then I've got just one more update here about the channel, in fact. Now, I don't know, most of you are probably not familiar with my other channel, The Retro Programmer. That's this. I created this channel 4 years ago. This was shortly after I created my main channel. And I have now 4,500 subscribers, but I actually haven't posted a video in like 4 years on here. So what I've decided is that the things that are not strictly C++ related, I'm going to start posting on the Retro Programmer channel. Some of the things that I've done, like the most recent episode on binary math, it's not directly C++ related. I'm going to go ahead and do the next video that I'm planning to do on number representation of computers, which is the BCD episode, which is binary coded decimal. I'm actually planning to record that in a few moments here. I am going to edit that, and I'm going to put it up here on the Retro Programmer channel. I will be sure to have a link to that also in the show notes. So if you are interested in that kind of content, you can see here the kind of thing that I've done in the past, basic animation, Commodore 64 memory map, Commodore 64 assembly, that kind of thing. I only have 5 episodes up there so far. Easy for you to go binge watch them all, and they kept with approximately the same kind of format and length as the videos that I'm doing on my C++ Weekly main channel, but this one will be over there for you for this kind of extra, more esoterica kind of thing. And don't be surprised if, I end up with more silly episodes up here, or clickbait-y ones, or things that are just fun. So the way I figure it, I will keep the serious content on C++ Weekly for the most part. Well, though, if you follow the channel, I'm not going to be able to stay serious the whole time, of course. But I'll keep the serious content on C++ Weekly, and I'm going to put the more, fun things, the playing around with older technology, and the randomness over here on the Retro Programmer channel. So make sure you check out both of those. Now, I imagine long-term viewers of this channel have been wondering about some of the projects that I've created along the way, and things that I've mentioned on the channel, and things that I have developed on the channel, such as the C++ Weekly Game project here, and the C++ Starter project, and CPP Best Practices, CPP Box. There's a theme here, right? So first of all, ChiScript, I should mention, I really haven't maintained that in over 2 years. Other people have continued to keep it alive, just for the record. So you're still free to check that out. After 10 years of working on it, I needed a break from the project. I don't feel bad about that. The CPP Starter project, I regularly check to see if there are any pull requests or issues on here, and I merge them in. So this is still a good template project that you can use to get quickly started with CMake and Conan and sanitizers and static analysis and all the best practice kind of tools. The CPP Best Practices book, now this, not the book here, but this project, CPP Best Practices, is still a collaborative coding standards document that you can go and you can fork if you want to for your organization. And it kind of complements the book that I have mentioned earlier in this show. And then the C++ Weekly Game project. Now, that has all moved into being live streams. So a good thing to look at if you are interested at all, and like, hey, when was the last time Jason did something about it or something or another? That's my list of playlists. I try to keep this organized. So this RPG in C++20, there's been 9 episodes of it so far, and the last several have been live streams. So I just encourage you to go and look at those if you're interested. I do start from scratch. I have not written one line of code that was not recorded and put up here. Now, the project is definitely on hiatus at the moment. I haven't had time to come back to it, but it is not a dead project. It'll come back, it'll continue to evolve, and we'll continue to develop it here on the channel. But it also just gives you something that if you were interested, that you could fork and have something up and running in mere moments that has most of what you need to get some good I/O going with graphics output and such. And I think I might use it for an example in a future project as well, a future episode. So yeah, those are the updates on all of those projects. Again, come back here whenever you are interested in these things. So I've been going for 243 episodes now, and I don't have any plan of stopping. I plan to go for at least 999 when I run out of digits here in my episode number. And I think that that is everything that I have for my list of channel updates here. And I can't say thank you enough to my patrons because it really did help me do this last round of upgrades that I needed to do to my hardware setup and to make it so much more efficient that I can even think about starting to post videos again on my secondary channel and maybe increasing the content. Oh, one last thing that I forgot. You have probably heard in some of my PMR videos that I say, this video is done in cooperation with so-and-so. And you will have more videos coming up saying this video is done in cooperation with so-and-so. Now, this is not a paid sponsorship in the sense that the company that I'm referring to is not paying to advertise on my channel, because there's clearly no advertisement there. There's just a mention of the company name. They have an interest in having this kind of content information out there for public use. And so they're just, helping by commissioning these videos that get content out there that they are interested in, and it's public for everyone, but without any kind of advertisement that is cluttering up the video at the moment. So it's a thank you also to the companies that I'm working with in these collaboration videos. I just thought that you would be interested in knowing some more about that. So yeah, otherwise, thanks for watching this episode. Who knows if you stuck through for all of these channel updates, and I'll see you in the next episode.